Sonic versus Shazam. It's basically two kids with the power of gods. One that's literally his whole thing, the other is just a really fast hedgehog who likes to have a good time. But in a fight between the two, well, which one of them is ultimately going to be coming out on top? Let's get into it. Billy Batson was a troubled young orphan, which I guess is the start of basically every single superhero origin, and he bounced around from foster home to foster home, gaining a bad rep for himself as a bit of a delinquent. But this all changed when he was chosen by the wizard Shazam to be his champion. In a desperate attempt to stop Dr. Sivana from releasing the 7 deadly sins, Billy was granted the powers of the gods. The wisdom of Solomon, strength of Hercules, stamina of Atlas, power of Zeus, courage of Achilles, and the speed of Mercury, becoming Shazam. Shazam is incredibly strong, basically like all the powers of Superman in a kid's body. He's even strong enough to throw a football into space and out of orbit. Which, I mean, of course that's what you're gonna do if you're a kid and wake up one day as Superman. He's able to catch a falling bus, hold it up over his head, and didn't really seem to be struggling as much with the weight, as much as just kind of keeping it balanced upright. And then, of course, he's able to fight against Dr. Sivana, and they're strong enough to throw each other through buildings in their fights. Shazam also had to learn real quick how to take a punch. So most anything that us mere humans could throw at Shazam isn't gonna do anything. They did a whole training montage about that. Nothing could hurt him. He was bulletproof, fireproof, I guess axe-proof. Shazam thought he was invincible. But then he ran into Sivana and learned real quick that that wasn't the case. See, while Shazam is practically invincible against man-made weapons, magic is a whole different story. Magic can definitely still hurt him. Of course, it doesn't one-shot him. He's still able to take plenty of hits from Sivana and take attacks from the Sins too. So yeah, Shazam can be tough to put down, that's for sure. Of course, you can't forget about speed. He can fly around in an instant, even accidentally speed blitz people. He can fight against Dr. Sivana, dodge attacks, and outreact him. And Sivana is fast enough to catch a bullet out of the air. Granted, it's a BB from a carnival game, not like a legit bullet, but still. And then last but not least, Shazam is linked to Zeus himself. Of course he had to have lightning abilities, and a lot of the times he'll use it more as a joke, charging people's smartphones, robbing banks or vending machines. He even became a street performer at one point. So we don't really get the high intense lightning like Black Adam is dishing out, but Shazam is still able to use it to fight against Sivana. Sonic the Hedgehog is an alien hedgehog with super speed who hails from Mobius. After being forced to flee to Earth, Sonic remained in hiding for 10 years until he accidentally made his presence known, becoming the target of the sinister Dr. Robotnik. However, Sonic managed to banish Robotnik from Earth and set himself up a nice, happy life with the Wachowski family. As time went on, Sonic tried beginning a superhero career, but his moment really came when Robotnik returned with Knuckles the Echidna, seeking the Master Emerald. Teaming up with his new ally Tails, Sonic embarked on a globe-trotting adventure to stop Robotnik, during which he befriended Knuckles. After defeating Robotnik, Sonic would form a new order with Tails and Knuckles to safeguard the Master Emerald from evil. Sonic possesses the power to move at incredibly high speeds, to the point where Tails believes he's the fastest being in the whole galaxy. He can run across states or even the whole country in an instant, move so fast that he appears to be in multiple places at once, or move so fast that the entire world around him appears to be frozen in place. And even then, when the whole world around him is frozen, Sonic still appears to be moving at super speed. Rockets, bullets, and missiles are practically still for him. What's even more impressive is that lasers are basically frozen in place as well, even though lasers should be instantaneous. And what's even more impressive than that is that Sonic is able to easily fight and operate at these kind of speeds. And man, is the little guy surprisingly powerful when he throws an attack. He can plow straight through metal, actually overpower Knuckles with his speed and power. He can one-shot huge vehicles or blow up drones. All of that is done from his spin attack, or his more revved up version, the spin dash. But another aspect of Sonic's power is his ability to generate chaos energy, something that's all linked to his emotional state. Whenever he starts feeling extreme emotions, Sonic will start generating blue energy all over his body, sort of like lightning. And this energy is so powerful that he can unleash an EMP blast that covered across the entire Pacific Northwest. Or Sonic can take all this energy and harness it for himself, greatly amping his strength, his speed, and his spin attack. So who wins? Well, let's break it down. Now, both of these heroes have some obvious strengths in their corner. Like for starters, Shazam is stronger, obviously. Because while Shazam might not really have the brains, he definitely has the brawn. He's able to pick up a Ford Raptor truck easily up into the air, then drop it, which would weigh around 2 tons. Freddy can easily move a car with just one hand. Then Shazam also caught a city bus at a dead stop, which would weigh anywhere from 11 to 18 tons. And sure, it looks like he struggled with it, but I think that's more just the shock of actually catching it and holding it up. He told Freddy a little later on it was as easy as catching a ball. Pedro is the strongest member of the Shazam family, outside of Billy. He was able to pretty easily lift up about half of the Benjamin Franklin Bridge in Philadelphia by himself. Now, that bridge weighs 70,000 tons of steel, and even if we cut it directly in half, because it looks like Pedro just lifted half, that's still 35,000 tons he was lifting up there. And Billy is the strongest out of all the Shazam family, so he should still be stronger. We definitely see that kind of play out for all the impressive stuff he's done up on the big screen. And then it might not necessarily be the strength of Hercules, but Shazam's connection to Atlas gives him plenty of power and strength too. Atlas is the Titan god who was condemned to hold up the sky for all eternity, which means that Shazam can juggle planets too, do it and not get tired. We've seen quite a bit to suggest that Atlas has planetary level strength, with the power of Atlas flowing through Shazam too. Well, that means that Shazam has got some planetary strength as well. On top of that, well, he's said to be as powerful as they come. He was recruited to join the JSA for the sole purpose of taking down Black Adam, and we all saw how powerful Black Adam was. Sonic has a really hard time keeping pace with that. And it's not like Sonic isn't strong. In fact, he's actually quite a bit stronger than you would think. He's regularly been able to one-shot drones and machines. He's helped to lift up heavy objects before. He's matched Knuckles in a fight. He can definitely throw a punch. It's just kinda hard to scale Sonic up to planetary level strength. You can get there with Shazam. Like sure, Shazam has never actually shown that off before, but you can get him up there easier than you can with Sonic. Same with durability. Shazam should theoretically be tougher. He's been slammed into buildings, slammed with buildings, blasted by lightning and hit with dragon fire and everything. But while all that is very impressive, even just on the surface level, you gotta remember that Shazam and all his enemies are fighting using magic. So there's always more going on behind the scenes too. Like getting punched and kicked around by Hespera and Dr. Savannah doesn't equate to being punched and kicked by an old lady and a bald guy, but it's being punched and kicked by a literal god in the embodiment of all these 7 deadly sins. Fighting a dragon isn't just fighting a dragon, but fighting the Dragon Laden, a world eater and a god killer. Each of those attacks thrown Shazam's way are capable of killing a god. The dragon at its best might even be able to destroy the world, and Shazam took all of its attacks. Lightning blasts from Dr. Savannah aren't just normal lightning blasts, but almost like anti-lightning. They're compared to black holes even, and Shazam took those blasts just fine. Even getting slammed with a building isn't truly just getting hit with a building. This is Anthea, and she has the power to act as Earth's axis. She puts her hands up, and the entire world begins to shift and rotate around her. It might look like simple matter manipulation or maybe even reality manipulation, but it's not. She is literally the center of the world in those moments. That's the kind of attack that Shazam is taking here. And then there's also just the fact that there are repeated statements saying that magic can only be hurt by magic. Now, this doesn't always play out this way in universe, because you introduce someone like Superman and everything gets a little fuzzy. Either Superman is secretly a god, or non-magic beings can at some point or another begin to hurt magical beings. But if it takes a being like Superman or Doomsday to even begin to get a drop of blood from magic, then holy crap, magic is insanely durable. So if you combine all of this, say that no man-made weapon can hurt Shazam, only someone approaching Superman power levels can hurt Shazam outside of magic, and then we see Shazam survive god-killing, planet-altering magic attacks before, well, it's safe to say he might be one of the toughest heroes who have ever lived. And again, Sonic kinda has a hard time keeping up with that. Now, he's got seemingly infinite endurance, nothing seems to tire him out, but while he can take some pretty big attacks and not go down, he can also be knocked out a whole lot easier than Shazam can. The kicker here is that Sonic is way, way faster than Shazam. Now, Shazam is still very fast. In fact, Shazam is easily one of the fastest beings in the universe. And not just Shazam either. Darla is insanely fast and way faster than her brothers and sisters. They're able to move at blur speed, where the Shazam family, specifically Shazam and Darla, are moving so fast that they're literally just like blurs. In fact, both of them are so fast, they're able to dodge lightning. And according to the VFX department, these lightning blasts are like an instantaneous event, just like normal lightning. So they're dodging legit lightning. These two are also way faster than their brothers and sisters, as Darla is consistently able to move so fast that the whole world around her comes to a complete stop, just like what happens when the Flash starts running. Even other members of the family are frozen like statues when Darla is moving around. But yet Shazam is still faster. He's got the edge over even her, because while speed might be Darla's specialty, Shazam is the source of all their powers and is just a bit better than all the rest of them. We get to see this play out too. Darla was tagged with telekinesis by Hespera while she was running, and Calypso was able to shoot Darla with lightning from the staff. Shazam dodged all of Calypso's lightning blasts and got Hespera to actually hit herself with telekinesis by switching places with her at super speed. Flash is still faster. Shazam himself confirms this, but Shazam might actually be operating at Superman level speeds here, which is insanely impressive. But Sonic is better and faster than all of this. And there are a few speed feats for him that we can calculate. For starters, Sonic ran from roughly the middle of Montana to the Pacific Ocean and back like 2 or 3 seconds, meaning that he's moving at somewhere between 1.8 to 2.7 meters per second, which is sub-relativistic speed. He's also capable of seeing the world in complete slow motion, ranging from people being frozen to bullets and missiles being frozen to even explosions and lasers being frozen. So that means that Sonic is potentially moving up to 35.7 meters per second in these moments, or relativistic speeds. And Sonic is potentially even much faster than that. Because as he charges up and his chaos energy grows inside of him, well, he gets faster and faster as well, to the point where Knuckles was moving in slow motion compared to Sonic. And it's not like Knuckles is slow. He was easily keeping up with Sonic for most of the movie. On top of that, Sonic has way better experience with his speed. He's got way more instances of either dodging attacks or just straight up turning people into statues. And if Flash is ultimately faster than Shazam, which he is, there's no doubt that Sonic is faster than Shazam too. And then of course the kicker to all of this, Supersonic. Sonic was able to transcend into this form after absorbing the 7 Chaos Emeralds into himself, granting him godlike powers and transforming him into the most powerful hero in the universe, to the point where he was able to effortlessly stomp the giant Eggman robot, when before that, well, Sonic wasn't able to do anything against it. And not only is he exponentially stronger, but he's also exponentially faster. He's exponentially tougher. And he can literally create anything he wants and alter reality with just a thought. And Sonic was already crazy powerful in his base form. He could create a country-sized EMP blast just because he was annoyed, or create a Chaos Wave blast that traveled to the end of the known universe. And Supersonic is exponentially more powerful than even that. You can argue that Shazam can scale up to Superman or Black Adam, making it a closer fight. But if we're looking at what just Shazam alone can do, Supersonic is enough to beat him. Reality warping aside, Sonic is way faster, and now he's got the strength to actually injure Shazam. It'll be a good fight, but I think Sonic ultimately has this in the bag. Sonic wins.